Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Mary. I'm a first-time homeschooling mama to a 4.5 and a 6.5-year-old. And I am going to be talking to you guys today about how to use Trello to organize and plan out your entire school year. I did a video previously on how I think I did it was a week of planning in Trello, and I received some comments asking for me to go more into the basics, the baseline way to use Trello. Because what I was showing you was kind of already pre-populated with all of my stuff, and I just kind of was showing you how I organize my rhythm and my flow for the week with our different subjects, and I was just showing you my Trello. I wasn't showing you, hey, here's a blank Trello workspace. Let's show you how to use it, how to create your own planner. So I felt like based on those comments, you guys were asking for more of an in-depth highlight and overview of the basics of Trello and how to use it. So that's what this video is. If you're not familiar with Trello, Trello is a project management tool. It can be on your web browser, on your desktop, on your laptop, or it also has a mobile app, which is why it is so convenient. So you could be on your computer, on your laptop, on your iPad, or on your phone, and you have your entire homeschool schedule, planner, what lesson are we supposed to be on, what video link do we need to pull up, because it also puts video links in it. So you just pull it up onto your iPad and your kiddos can watch it. It's an all-in-one tool that is very well organized, highly visual, allows you to put attachments, documents, videos, pictures, the whole shebang in it. It is a one-stop shop to keep you organized. But more importantly, it not only keeps you organized and keeps your plan in there, it also acts as a database and a repository of all of your homeschool records. What did you guys do 2 years ago for second grade reading? Oh, because of the labels that I can put on cards and the reading, I can pull up and filter through our reading list and pull our entire readings that we had done the entire year for literature if I need to show that to the state, depending on your state requirements, right? My state does not really have a whole lot of requirements, especially when it comes to record keeping, like none. But I'm not keeping these records for the state. I'm keeping these records for not only me, but also down the line, when I'm getting into the habit of doing a transcript for high school, or let's say, God forbid, something happens and we end up going back to regular school and I need to provide some information to the school about where they've been. I know that most people will say, don't worry about that. The school will just test them and put them where they want to be. But I'm that extra parent that wants to say, no, my kid can do X, Y, and Z. They don't need to be here. They should be over here, because I will advocate and fight for my child at any given moment. So with that being said, if you are one of those who has a state that requires a lot of record keeping, this is the perfect system for you, because you don't have to worry about a bunch of papers. I mean, of course, you're going to have paperwork from your kiddo, but this holds everything else for you, and it holds it in the cloud, and it'll be there forever. And if you're like me and a type A parent, then you just have it all there for you, so because it helps with planning, it helps with understanding where we've come from and where we're going, and it's an amazing all-in-one data tool. Okay, so enough talking. I am going to go ahead and share a screen recording with you. I'm just going to go over the basics in this video. I can't get it all done in one video. I think it's just going to be too overwhelming to everybody. So I'm probably going to break it up into bite-sized pieces. This is the basics. This is what is Trello, get you into the system, show you a blank workspace, show you blank cards, how I create the bones of my different spaces so that you can see how I organize it all, and that's it. I think the next video is going to be getting into the frills of it, right? Like how do I attach a document? How do I add a photo? How can I make it more aesthetically pleasing? Because I'm one of those people, because it can be super pretty, or you could keep it super bare bones and super simple, right? It just depends on who you are. I apologize. My dog keeps walking in and out. His nails are tapping on the hardwood, so I hope that doesn't bother you guys. I've got 3 of them, so I can only control them so much because they love being with me. So I have to lock them out of the office. But enough of that. Let's get into the computer and into Trello and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, here is the main view that you will see when you log into Trello.com. I'm of course on my laptop. The mobile view will look slightly different, but all you need to do is go to Trello.com, create an account and sign in and get started. Everything I do is on a free account. They do have paid accounts that are much more robust and have so much more accoutrement to it. But for my purposes, the free account works just fine. So the best way to explain Trello from a macro to a micro level is think of it in terms of the biggest part is going to be your workspaces. And then within each of your workspaces, you will have things called boards, which are essentially folders. And then within those boards, you will have items that are called lists. And then on the lists, you have cards, which are each of your different things that you're going to tasks or curriculum or whatever it is that you are, your to-dos. So when you first log into your Trello account, you will not see any of this. You will see probably this guy right here, tutorial board, start here. I highly recommend starting there. It gets you familiar with the system outside of the things that I'm going to tell you, the basics that we're going to talk about in this video. Now, what I'm on right now is something called boards. This is showing me every single board I have within each workspace that I have on Trello. Now, to the left, you'll see I have my 3 individual workspaces in here. So I have my Mary Barfield's workspace. That's my personal one where I have my grocery lists. I have my lists for packing for trips just to make sure I don't forget anything. I have Christmas gift lists on there. I have so much in there. It's really, really a great way to organize all of your thoughts and things in lists. And then I also have my first and pre-K workspace. That's our current homeschooling year that we're in right now. And then I have my second and kindergarten workspace, which is what we're going to be working in here. I'm going to do an example to show you the basics of Trello functionality. Now, for our example, we're going to actually be scheduling and putting together at a basic level our first week of summer school curriculum. So that's why we're going to use second and kindergarten workspace, because our first and pre-K year is going to end, at the last week of May. And then June starts our following school year, and I include summer school within this one. So let's click into the boards within this workspace. So one thing to note about the free account for Trello is that within each workspace, you are allowed only up to 10 boards. That is plenty for me. I don't need anything more than that, hence why I've not upgraded yet to the paid version, and I probably won't. 10 totally suits my needs. So for next year, if you've not watched any of my curriculum videos, we are doing an around the world study. So the way I've split up our curriculum, I haven't actually put too much in here yet, but the way I'm going to structure our boards is each board is going to be a continent that we are learning about all the countries within. So it'll be a few weeks within each board. I like to have between 4 and 6 weeks within each board because that's probably about as much as I can handle visually within a single board. But that also works out perfectly with our continents, how many weeks it's going to take for us to go through each continent. Now, one of these boards is also going to be our summer school. So that's where you guys come in, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So in order to create a new board, you will click on Create a New Board. And we're going to name it Summer School. Now, they've given us a picture here for the background. I can change that, but I'm going to talk about that in a later video about the aesthetics of your board, how to make it prettier. This video today is just talking about the basics, how to use Trello. So you'll see here they've already started a list here, but we have to enter the title for it. Now, you may see other people's Trellos that do homeschool in Trello and how they organize it might be different. I'm just showing you how I organize mine just for the sake of opinions being different. Don't come for me if this is different than anybody else's that you've seen. So the way I do it is I create each weekday is a list. So first one is going to be Monday. Now in parentheses, I always put the date for that first day. So if things continue to progress the way they are right now, our last day of school for pre-K and first grade will be May 31st, which means the following Monday would be June 3rd. So that's what this day will be. So I'm basically making a calendar here. That's the best way to think about it. I'm going to collapse that so you guys can see. Okay, and then I'm going to create more days on here, and for the sake of speediness, I'm going to speed this up for you guys. Okay, so I have all of my days of the week now set, and I'll show you guys how to copy this to make life easier for the next week. Now, before we get into that, I want to show you now what you're going to do with this. So let's add a card. So the way we're going to set up our schedule is we're going to do me and my amazing body on Mondays. Now, the way that I create my cards is each card is essentially either a curriculum, a subject, or a book that we're reading chapters multiple times throughout the week. That's kind of how I organize it. So we are going to be doing a science unit called Me and My Amazing Body. And within your card, there's multiple things that you can do. If you have another family member like your husband or your wife, you can add them to this if you both are tag teaming homeschooling so you guys can see what's happening. You can add labels so we can create let's make green, science. Okay. So I'm going to label this our science so that later on I can filter by this and pull up science for all the summer or the entire year and get a list of everything we've done for science. So I'm going to label this science. We can put a due date on it if you want. You just add it on there. We're not going to do that because we don't need it. We're going to create a checklist if you want. So I like to put my daughter's names since this is a group subject. I'm going to put both the girls' names, so Charlotte and Emery, and I'm going to say complete unit 1. And then if I want to, I can go up here to the description box. Since this curriculum is a PDF file, I can copy and paste the instructions for the entire curriculum and put them here for this unit so that I don't even have to open up the curriculum. If I load everything into Trello, I don't ever have to open up my curriculum again, and then I'm done. We're not going to do that right now because that's a whole lot to go over. I'll show you that later. You can add attachments in the form of either a link or a file. You can drag and drop into here. It's great. And then you can also create a cover. So I am actually going to show you guys how to do this. So me and my amazing body. This is the main spine for the book. So we're going to actually use this as our cover photo. So I'm going to grab a screenshot of it. Now you do not have to do this. This is extra. This is me liking things being visual. I'm going to delete that because I don't want that just hanging out. So then I'm going to copy and paste. Done. So you see it is now the cover of this. And when I go to my list, this card now is visually, I can see this is it. So we're going to also do another unit. We're going to do 2 units a week. So Mondays and on Wednesdays. So I'm going to hit this little button up here and I'm going to hit copy. And I'm going to copy another one to Wednesday. Now, the only thing I have to go in here and change, you'll see it populated under Wednesday, is we're not doing unit 1 on Wednesday. We're going to do unit 2. And then we're done. So I have now added for the week and scheduled Me and My Amazing Body curriculum in my planner. Again, we're keeping this super low key. I probably shouldn't have even showed you the picture. This is not a basic thing, but visually for me, this is probably the most important. So let's add another card. We're going to do math 3 times per week. I'm going to add math with confidence, first grade too. So in here, math with confidence kindergarten is my youngest, so I'm going to put Charlotte for the checklist. And I'm going to put lesson, and I'm going to put TBD because I don't know what lesson we're going to be on. And then when we complete that lesson, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to update it to lesson 16.1, right? And then I'll hit the check button to say that we have completed it. But for now, I leave it as a TBD because I'm not sure what lesson we're going to be on. So let's go to math with confidence. And I'm going to speed this part up for you guys. Okay, I now have both my daughter's maths, the covers in there. I've added the checklist for the lesson. The one thing I forgot to do and show you guys is put a label. So let's make red math. I don't know why. That just makes me think of math. So let's save that and we're going to check that label. Wonderful. And then I'm also, if you wanted to, by the way, you could make 2 different colors. If you have 2 different kiddos doing math, you can make red math for your older kid and green math for your younger kid. You could do so many different things, but since we're going to keep this simple, we're just going to put them both under math. Now, the thing I want to do is, since we're going to be doing this 3 times a week, I want to copy and paste it to Thursday. Copy and paste it to Friday. And then I'm going to do this again with first grade and speed it up. Okay, everything is now completed. All my math is across my different my different days. I do not have to go back into these and edit anything internally because the checklist says lesson TBD, and I'll just update that the day that we do the lesson, and I'll put in the number lesson we do. So next, let's move on to, we've got science, we've got math. The only other thing we're doing for summer school is some language arts. So for my oldest, that would mean writing and grammar, and then for my youngest, that would mean phonics. Now, language arts is one of those things that, because there's so many different components to it, I like to keep it all in one card, which means I don't break it out into these different pretty pictures. I actually just make it a checklist. So I'll show you what that looks like. So language arts. All right, so let's create a label for language arts. Let's make it yellow. Save, checklist. Great. Okay, I'm going to create a checklist for my youngest daughter, and I'm going to create a checklist for my oldest daughter because they have different curriculum they use for their language arts. So for my youngest, the only thing we'll be doing over summer school is phonics. So I do Ordinary Parents Guide to Teaching Reading. That is a mouthful, so I put it as an acronym. Ordinary Parents Guide to Teaching Reading. And then lesson TBD, because again, I don't know what lesson we're going to get up to by the end of the school year, so I'm just leaving that TBD. So add. That's the only thing she will be doing this entire summer school. My oldest daughter will be doing 2 things. She will be doing her Evan Morse 6 trait daily writing lesson TBD. She will also be doing Evan Moore grammar and punctuation lesson TBD. Again, keeping everything TBD right now. Okay, so we're going to bow out of this. I'm not going to add a cover to it because there's too many things I could add to the cover. But what I am going to do is I'm going to copy and paste it to every day of the week. And I'm going to speed this up. Okay, now you see I have language arts on every day. However, what we do every day is going to change. So Monday, we had it as phonics, writing, and grammar. But on Tuesdays, we are going to just do writing and grammar, and my daughter, my youngest, will not do phonics, so I'm going to delete her checklist. On Wednesdays, my youngest will do a phonics lesson, but my oldest will only do writing and not grammar because grammar is 3 times a week. And just so you know, I've written this out, just the cadence of their language arts on a piece of paper just so I can get that down. And then what I can do is copy this template to the next week and not have to recreate the wheel. That's the best part about this. Once you create your template, you just copy and paste and make certain tweaks on details. Okay, and then on Thursday, we're just going to do, again, writing and grammar for my oldest. My youngest won't have a phonics lesson because we're just doing phonics 3 times a week over the summer. I didn't want to overload her. And then again, we're going to remove that grammar lesson because my youngest will do her phonics and my oldest will just do her writing. And that is it. Now, the only other thing that I did not put in here is we will be doing a read aloud 30 minutes per day. Now, I don't know what read aloud we're going to be doing yet, so I'm going to leave this as blank. But once I do know, I'll put a cover of the book on here to make it more attractive to my eyes so it catches it and I can see it and compartmentalize my to-do list for the day. And that'll probably be our nighttime reading. But I think we're going to be doing some Zoe and Sassafras. We're going to finish up that series. We have Magic Tree House series that we want to start. We also have the Never Girls series that we're going to start. So I'm just going to leave this as is right here, but that will be every day. And I'm going to put a label on it for reading. Oh, just kidding. I have to create it as reading. Save. It's checked. We're good. So let's now copy this to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. I will speed this up for you guys. Okay, I'm going to pause the speeding up. I accidentally didn't move the list to Thursday. I just replicated it within the same list. Something I wanted to show you is that you can click and drag your cards. That's the other thing that is beautiful about Trello. If we don't get to Me and My Amazing Body on Wednesday, it's a super easy change to just then move it over to Thursday morning, and then we move on. The thing with the paper planner that I was having a hard time was I could write my curriculum and my schedule into it, but then if something changed, it was so hard to erase and write it over here. And it was too much. This is much easier to be flexible and move things around if you need to. And then let's just copy and paste that last one to Friday and we're done. So here is our schedule for summer school. And then all I have to do is take this entire list, click the 3 buttons up here. I can copy list. I can update it to the date for the following week. Let me look that up real quick. Okay, so that would be Monday the 10th, create list, and you'll see it'll duplicate it right here. And all I have to do is then copy this list, update the date, and it replicates it. And then we're going to move these over. Let me just do this really quickly. I'll speed it up. Okay, I now have 2 weeks worth of this schedule. What I'm going to do really quickly to show you how I replicate this so quickly, I put a weekend list. This is just purely visual, just to break up 1 week to the next. And then what I do is I come back over here and I come to my Monday. So Monday the 10th, so that's the following week, I'm going to click the 3 dots up here where instead of copying list, I'm going to move list. I want it to stay within my summer school board and I want to put it at the very end. So I'm going to put it in the 11th position and then it will move it all the way to the right for me. Again, move list all the way to the end. Okay, and I'm going to speed this up real quick. Okay, guys, so let's take a quick look at this. We have our first week of summer school. Then we have our weekend. Then we have our second week of summer school. And then I'll put weekend here because our summer school is going to be at least 4 to 5 weeks long. Do you see how quickly I was able to replicate 2 weeks? Now, granted, that's because my schedule is the same. But even if it was just slightly different, most of us, I think, keep a similar routine throughout the week. I could easily move things around as needed. If I needed to make any tweaks or changes, maybe you guys decide to go to the museum on Monday, so you move this over to Tuesday. You see where I'm going. This is super easy to update and change, and it's super flexible. So I think that's where I'm going to end it here. This has probably gotten very long, but there's some basics of Trello. I hope this was super helpful for you, and it wasn't too confusing. All right, guys, I hope that was super helpful for you. Again, that was just the basics of Trello, just to show you guys how to create a card, what a workspace is, all those things, right? Next video, my dog is back in case you guys were wondering. Here, let me give him a little... It's just a good puppy dog. So next video, I'm going to go over the more in-depth tools that you can use within the system, how you can attach a video, the more fun things we'll say, and then even how to make it prettier. So If you guys like this video, leave me a thumbs up. If you guys are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you do have any questions from today's video, please leave them down below. If there's anything you want to see in the next video, definitely leave that down in the comments below so I know what to touch upon. And I will see you guys in that next video. Bye, guys.